But first, I need to learn how to do Soku.
I find it interesting that, like, Tenkaichi 3 is here.
Would you never put it? Or are you just surprised that it's a well-known enough to even be put on there?
So, my thing is, unlike pretty much every other fighting game on here, besides, like, maybe Naruto's Ninja Storm, well, actually, specifically the anime games. Not just, like, the anime-themed games, but the games based on anime. These are the only ones that are designed to be single-player experiences first before anything. So if you want to talk about, like, the most beginner-friendly games, like, yeah, these are pretty much it right here. These. Not Fantasy Strike. No. These.
Fantasy Strike is probably one of those games that's good. I think that's a good, like, gateway to getting better at fighting games. That's the one game that's, like, really slow and deliberate, and you just need to hit them, like, 3 times, right?
It's more like... My thing with Fantasy Strike is that it's what DNF Duel is, but gone wrong. Like, it's just Street Fighter. It's just Street Fighter, but all the moves are one button.
Yeah, isn't it just... It's slow dive kick.
Well, no, dive kick is still different. But I mean, like, Fantasy Strike and Street Fighter are only different by, like, the commands of the moves. And not much else.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you made the move list in Street Fighter just one button for special moves, like a whole dedicated special move button, give it modern controls, it'll just be Fantasy Strike. Like, exactly. Yeah, Fantasy Strike has that weird thing where, like, everyone's health is segmented, but that doesn't really do anything in terms of, like, helping people learn how to play it or making people want to play it. It's just a weird quirk of the game.
Well, it gets rid of the mental trapping of learning combos.
Well, there's still combos.
But it doesn't matter. Like, you only take one hit per interaction, and then it turns to neutral. Doesn't it? Am I missing something about that game?
So... trying to think. Because, like... yeah, like, the whole segmented health thing is still mostly the same because there are characters, like the Grappler, I think. He has more health ticks than most other characters, and his command grabs still chunk off more than one tick of your health. Like, you would think that the whole idea is that, like, every hit in the game is one tick.
Yeah, it's only a game that's supposed to be only neutral.
Yeah, and the game, and the characters are separated outside of their movesets, but, like, how much health they have Like if you're a grappler, you have a lot more ticks because you're slow and useless.
Yeah, which makes sense.
But it still does. It doesn't change anything. Like ultimately, the way it ends up working doesn't change anything.
But yeah, but that was the point of it. It's like, here, look, hey casuals, you don't have to fear this. We dumbed it down for you so that you could just get the easier way.
Yeah.
And then you go to play fight. Splendid Strike was always, in my eyes, meant to be a icebreaker for people to join in the fighting game.
Yeah, that's what it was designed to be. Yeah. But that still falls apart once you like fight another human, and you expect to win. You know.
Yeah, yeah. There's multiple layers to barrier that people have with the prejudice of fighting games, unfortunately. But I'd say it did break one of them. It's just the other one, there's like no breaking, like you said.
Yeah, and that's the major one. That's like, not even the genre, but just the whole idea of having to consider a whole nother person at all.
Yeah, I mean that's what even though Max brought it up too. Like you actually, yeah, like he just says you kind of just can't skip this part.
That's the major separation between casual and hardcore players. Casuals do not care about the other people playing with. When a casual tries to get a game of Smash Bros, they don't care who they're playing against, unless they're really fucking good. Like, actually, yeah, sometimes even then they still don't because like, I have items, I have Final Smash, I don't care, I just want to hit him real hard, hit him real good.
They want to play the game.
Yeah.
But then, like, so is that just something standard fighting games just don't ever have?
What do you mean?
Because it's like, do you now see kind of where I'm getting at when it comes to the whole newcomer thing? It's like, okay, but then it's like, why is it that Smash Brothers is just so easy for people to get into?
Nintendo characters.
Because it's not really, like, easy, but it presents itself as it, doesn't it?
Pretty much. A combination of easy controls, game feel, Nintendo characters, and a fuck ton of single player content.
Okay, well, excluding the characters because that's just something no fighting game can compete with. Like, why haven't they done the other two things? And I'm sure they have.
That's the other unfortunate thing. The deadest games on here are the original ones. Dive-Kick, Fantasy Strike,
Grand Blue. Okay, Grand Blue would have been alive if it actually had good online.
Yeah, the Grand Blue, for different reasons, is dead. But I mean, like, the deadest games. The hella dead. Chaos Code, probably never even heard of that.
I think I have, actually.
Oh, well, yeah. Dead as fuck. Like, these are all legacy series that have existed for, like, forever. Or is based off an anime. That have existed for, like, forever. And then Kill la Kill.
Yeah, but also, like, also because they've been around the block for long, they've started getting good with the balance.
Yeah. Skullgirls is the miracle baby. That's just a testament to how good Skullgirls is. It survived.
And the character design.
Yeah. Characters are neat. The game is not that difficult to play.
Cheap.
Cheap as fuck. In-depth tutorial.
Yeah, see, like, Skullgirls is definitely, I would say, is good for newcomers. But, like, it's still vastly paced by Smash.
But then you get Marvel.
You get Marvel. I think also Marvel is a poor case of word of mouth. Because, like, everyone considers it the most broken, unbalanced piece of shit.
That's because it is the most broken, unbalanced piece.
But, like, a game is more than just that. Melee is a horrible, unbalanced, broken piece of shit. It still would be really good.
Yeah, but like, but that's not why people.
Not really good.
Yeah, like, yes, Marvel is a broken piece of shit, but like, yeah, it is now. That's kind of what becomes of fighting games if they've been around for too long. Like, the major selling point was Marvel and Capcom.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's literally what got people to play the game in the first place.
Yeah. I didn't have any exposure into any competitive anything until Brawl.
Dang.
Everything before Brawl, I just played casually. I was super deep into Street Fighter and CVS2 and stuff like that, but I had no inkling of being any competitive anything. I just wanted to like punch my brother in a way that he wouldn't punch me back.
And I think, yeah, that's exactly. Now we're leaning right back into what Max was talking about. Like, because that was the era of Street 4, wasn't it?
No.
Brawl wasn't that Street 4?
Brawl was like, what, 2008? So, Street Fighter 4 came out, I think, right after Brawl. Or around the same time.
So, it's in the ballpark. It's in the ballpark. It's just,
Yeah.
a lot more people are into Smash.
Oh, wait, initial. That could mean arcade.
Anything.
Arcade release, 2008. Console version the year after. So, yeah. Brawl was before Street Fighter 4. For us Americans, I guess.
By how much?
A year.
Yeah, that's still fine.
More than half a year. Or, yeah, a little bit more than half a year.
If you were to say 3 years, then I would retract my statement.
But yeah, Marvel 3 was certainly not a thing yet. I think we're still at Tekken 5. Yeah, no, Tekken 6 didn't exist just yet because, like, the PS3 was also 2008, right?
Damn, so there's like a combination of Brawl and Streets for that era.
2006. Okay, so PlayStation existed, but, like, nobody had a PS3 at the time, you know?
Yeah, no games.
No games and hella expensive. And hard to
What was
find.
the best game on PlayStation 3 at that era? Sonic 06? That's bad.
Mod Nation Racers. Yeah. I think I would have to think of this in a different angle because for me, I've been playing fighting games since I was a babby. Like alongside Sonic. Like Sonic was my thing, but like Street Fighter and fighting games were like my siblings' thing. And they basically got me into it. So like I'm deep into fighting games because I've been deep into it for my entire fucking life. So, like, I think the only comparable thing that I could use for this would be like an RTS. Because I used to not play those at all. Or MOBAs. MOBAs, I should say.
Hmm.
I didn't start playing MOBAs until Smite. And I mean, like, 3 years ago, Smite. And I enjoy them. They're fun. The only reason I didn't get into them before was because...
The bad stigma of League.
Yes.
That's literally it. It's just like with fighting games. Like, oh, this is, well, bringing in my perspective into this. Like, yeah, you grew up with fighting games, I didn't, and there was always that, oh yeah, it's because these things are awful.
Yeah.
And then you get to break through that barrier, and it's like, yeah, this is kind of fun.
So I'm trying to think of, like... Because if we turn the question into what MOBAs are newcomer friendly?
Obviously, we have Unite.
Obviously, we have Unite.
I
But
want
also...
to say I'm not also verse.
Wait, what? We have what now?
Would you consider Smite beginner friendly? It's definitely a nice icebreaker.
Yeah, so, like, I got into Smite because I... Ooh, oh yeah, that... Okay, the other big reason was I was not a PC gamer at all. I do not play on mouse and keyboard for anything. So, like, Smite sold me just by the fact that I can play it with a controller.
Actually, whoa, yeah, you're right. That is kind of a big deal for a MOBA.
Well, for me, I guess, because most people don't really care. I think...
You know what I mean? That's like, that can actually be a selling point. That brings a bigger audience.
Yeah, stuff like
MOBA,
that. Because, like, also shooters... Because, like, mouse and keyboard will always be the most optimal thing, but, like, for someone who doesn't use that shit, in the same way that, like, I wouldn't recommend somebody buying a fight stick just to play fighting games, I wouldn't want to have to learn how to use a mouse and keyboard because I'm just not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
If I want to compete in those games, I probably should, but I don't. So I won't.
Yeah, that's an option thing. That's always good for, like, newcomerness.
And I'd like to say that I think I've learned enough about Smite to get, like, a general, like, encompassing view of how to play any other MOBA, basically. But that took, like, several people of teaching me and lots of dealing with failure and getting mauled and stuff like that.
The good aspects of group play.
Yes.
Fighting games are kind of alone. Kind of.
Kind of. You definitely... You... Okay, maybe you can, but... Maybe the odds of this happening are incredibly low. I mean, they must be less than, like, 2%. But I can't fathom just diving into a MOBA by myself. Just picking up a MOBA and be like, I'm gonna just play this to cool off. And then expect to, like, not get destroyed. Because I don't understand anything.
Yeah, but unfortunately nobody thinks like that. If I don't win, this game must be trash.
Yeah, unfortunately.
If I don't win at this MOBA, oh, that's because I'm not spending money. I need to level up these leftovers to level 30. and put it on my fuzz dog.
And I don't think I've ever heard of League or Smite or anything having like a single player campaign mode where you just go on an adventure as your selected character and you just do your usual Smite shit, but in a big open world or a wide linear hub where you just go around and you do stuff.
I'm sure there's bot games where they just do that.
Yeah, but that's still like a versus mode. I'm talking about like conquest mode in Mortal Kombat Deception. Like, Mortal Kombat in the PS2 era usually had like some kind of adventure mode where like you're just given a character and it's its own little story, and you just go around the different realms and you meet like all the different Mortal Kombat characters and you fight them and you learn moves and you. It's partially a platformer.
Oh, wait, I remember. Isn't that awful single-player mode that Max played?
I think so. Did you play Deception?
I'm pretty sure he played it all. He did in all of the Mortal Kombat.
So I'm not talking about the Sub-Zero one.
Oh, that's probably the one that I'm thinking of, but surely he's played it.
Sub-Zero Legacy with the Fatal. I don't think he played through the story.
Ah.
I think he did have like a. Yeah, he's had like Mortal Kombat Legacies, but not like the story campaign. But yeah, like, I'm sure those modes. I mean, okay, Mortal Kombat was already still like among the most popular fighting games ever, but like those further solidified Mortal Kombat's place in history.
The most popular fighting games are the ones that give you more than just fighting.
Ooh, actually, Tekken 3 had like Tekken 3, 4, and 6 all had like these weird single player adventure mode campaign thingies.
Really now?
Yeah.
Ah, 2 more steaks.
So yeah, I guess ultimately it just comes down to single player content. Because I bitch about auto combos because that's like trying to sell casuals in fighting games through the hardcore lens. And it's like,
Yeah,
no.
that's also promoting the mash button quicker, and I win.
Yeah. But, like, games that don't have that problem, or no, games that kind of already do that by their very nature, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto Legend of Soul 4, like, these games, they may not be, like, on Evo Grand Stage or anything, but these are some of the most beloved fighting games in existence. Or, if not like the anime ones, the ones that are the most beloved games like ever are the ones that give you the ability to just like do something other than having to compete.
Yeah, play a game.
Yeah, play a video game. Like, it's a video game before it's a fighting game, you know? Before it's like a competitive fighting game.
Yeah, and that was with the big lull, like the failure of Streets 5 at the beginning. It only wanted to be a competitive Evo game. And then they introduced the story mode, which would have helped, but that's a whole other caveat.
And then, of course, like, the game, even if you have, like, a single-player campaign, it still has to go beyond just, like, fighting shit, you know? Because most of the time, like, Street Fighter V, yeah, it has story mode, but ultimately all you were doing was still doing 1v1 versus a super weak, easy as fuck CPU. And then the alternative to that was arcade mode, which 1v1 versus a CPU. And honestly, I don't think Street Fighter 6 is really solving that problem, because yeah, there's a hub world, but ultimately you're still just fighting dudes. It's more. There is more to it than that. Like, yes, it is way more than most other fighting games do, but I don't think it's going far enough.
It's helping in the fact that it's hiding the stuff that usually scares people away.
So far, right? Because like we don't have a game yet, so
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't truly judge it. The game's not out yet.
Yeah.
But all we're seeing is that it's just not saying, yeah, this is all still just fighting.
Yeah, like because the impression that I have is that, like, yes, there's an adventure mode, and yes, there's a giant overworld, but mostly all you're going to do in it is go from point A to point B, talking to certain characters, and then you go back to doing Street Fighter shit. It's like, well, what if, just throw this out there, what if the moves that you can use for traversal and shit are the moves that you do to fight people in the overworld Final Fight style, but in 3D? What if Street Fighter was the new Final Fight?
It's kind of like how... you basically, is what you're saying is like make the whole thing a different, like a beat 'em up.
Yeah, make it a beat 'em up.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
that's fine.
Beat 'em up adventure. Just do it.
Yeah, Grand Blue with the story mode.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that the fucking... it's unfortunate that, like, the game is, like, $120 with garbage netcode. But, like, yeah, that.
Yeah. Grand Blue could have been... Grand Blue is, like, say, the skeleton of a successful fighting game. It's just, unfortunately, they broke those bones.
Yeah. And you know what? What needs an honorable mention on this thing? Tenkaichi 3 is here because out of the Tenkaichi games, it's like the most refined and has the most characters in it. Like, the whole point of the game... This is the Smash Ultimate of Dragon Ball Z. Everyone is here. Or at least everyone before Super is here. Tenkaichi 2... Like... Fuck. Too much content. Like, less characters, sure. Gameplay is kind of slow. Or sluggish compared to this. Sure. But, like, oh my god. The story mode, you go through every minor conflict. like the Dragon Ball...
Entire saga?
Cause like okay, cause like the Dragon Ball Z games on PS2 were mostly just about, hey, let's adapt the anime into a video game. So the story mode is usually always like just go through the plot of Dragon Ball Z. The problem with that is that Dragon Ball Z is long as fuck. It's not a short anime by any means. Imagine a One Piece game that goes literally from beginning to end to current day. Like, all the way through. Not in installments, but a single game that goes through the entirety of One Piece.
Hey, that definitely would be a bit much. Honestly, I thought Grand Battle was a bit much, but they kind of segmented enough where I can't. Obviously, I'm going to like say this by take my stance on this by saying I would be down for a One Piece game that had like all of the characters in, but I wouldn't like having to go through every single nuance of the story.
Yeah. But like Tenkaichi 2 goes through the whole story. It goes through every little minor fight. Some fights have multiple stages to them. Like, oh god. I'm pretty sure, like, when you're fighting Frieza as Goku, like, Goku shows up. Fight starts as Goku. You fight him as regular Goku first. Then you fight him as Super Saiyan Goku. Then I think you fight him as Gohan for a bit, because there's like a part where Gohan shows up to fight Frieza. Then you fight him as Super Saiyan Goku again. Right. Yeah, like, so, yeah, you fight him as base form Goku. Then you fight him as Goku and Piccolo, because it's the section where Goku's charging the Spirit Bomb and Piccolo's helping them helping do it. Then you fight him as Super Saiyan Goku. Then you fight Frieza as 100% Frieza. Then you fight him as Gohan as 100% Frieza. Then you fight him
as Krillin.
Well, Krillin's already dead. But
oh, okay.
Yeah. And then you fight him one more time as like Super Saiyan Goku. So it's like each, like in Tenkaichi 3, they condensed it so that like, okay, the Frieza fight is just one Frieza fight. But
it's basically phases.
Yeah. But yeah, like the neat thing about Tenkaichi 3 is that like you start off as base Goku, but as the fight goes, and it's all one continuous fight. Like the fight it says round 1 fight, or it doesn't even say round 1, but it just says fight. You're in the world. You're fighting, and then like at a certain point, when you hit like a certain health threshold for Frieza, you like press a button and it'll continue to the next phase. It's like, okay, cool, awesome. Thank you. You streamlined the process. Tenkaichi 2. Not only did you have to do these fight, but the game was also an RPG.
Oh.
So characters had levels. You gain experience through each fight. You get stronger. Sometimes, like, fights are so hard that you do have to grind. And there's, like, an equipment system. You have to equip shit and get stats and whatnot.
Oh, man, they had a grid?
Not necessarily a grid, but, like, you know, you have, like, X amount of slots, and you have all these different items that give you all these different buffs.
Yeah.
It's like, holy fuck. At the time, I appreciated it, because that was, like, the most in-depth a Dragon Ball game had ever gotten in terms of, like, just going through the story. And I mean everything. Like, from Raditz to, like, all the movies into GT. Like, some Dragon Ball shit sprinkled in the middle. They had what-if stories. Like...
Neat. Is that the game where you had to play that weird mini game where you had to spin the control stick to keep Goku and Raditz in the line for Spirit Special Beam Cannon?
No, that was Budokai 1.
Oh. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's like the only Dragon Ball game that I've actually seen. My cousins had that. That was way back in the day.
Yeah, like Budokai 1 was still pretty novel. Um, damn, yeah, they never did the minigame shit again. That would have been cool. But yeah. Fuck. Tenkaichi 2. That one is probably the most content-rich Dragon Ball game in existence. Exhaustingly so. Fuck. I never want to do a playthrough of that. Again.
Damn.
It's too much. It's too much stuff. Especially
I mean,
especially
yeah.
since Tenkaichi 3 exists, it's like, okay, I can do that.
Damn it. This is bringing me back to this weird talk. I'm bringing it to Pikmin, by the way. It's like, there was this video talking about how Pikmin 2 is like the worst Pikmin game because it's too much.
Persona 5 Royal. Like,
So the 5 Royal.
I love that game to death. I will never play it again.
You did at least platinum it, right?
Not yet.
Oh boy.
Like, I will argue that it is, like, top 5 greatest JRPGs ever made. I never want to touch that game again. Besides the Platinum Trophy. It's too
One
much.
playthrough, one enough.
Oh, God. It didn't help that I'd already played through vanilla like 3 times.
That could be honestly it. It was just burnout.
Oh, so much burnout. Starting to burn in.
So there's a lot of like wait times.
But yeah, I think like fun, engaging single player content is just the answer. Like that's just the answer.
Yeah, yeah. Something other than the thing that makes people turn away from it. It's sad it turns people away from it, but it does. You kind of have to adapt to that.
Yeah. And like it sounds stupid and obvious that we're saying it, but for all the years that like they've been trying to just contaminate the two, like casual and competitive people, you just can't. Stop trying. Just give the casual something to do and make the game relatively balanced and fun.
Yeah.
Because competitive people aren't going to ask you to add a bunch of bullshit. It's the casual people who are asking you to add a bunch of bullshit for them to do in the game. Because out of these, let's see, Dive Kick, Kill a Kill, early versions of Storm 4, Fantasy Strike, Samurai Showdown, Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Dead or Alive 6, Blazing Cross Tag, Street Fighter 5, Dragon Ball Fighters, whatever this is, Nitro Plus, Power Rangers, Fighting ES Slayer, Guilty Gear, Street Fighter 4, Exerd, doesn't even have, also Exerd, all the fucking Guilty Gears, all this shit, they're just fighting games. And nothing else. There's nothing to do but to fight. Like, even the ones that do have, like, single-player story mode campaigns, like, Star 4 only had, like, it's an arcade mode. It's a glorified arcade mode. Yes, the cutscenes are pretty. Yes, the quick-time events are engaging. Whatever. You're still just fighting dudes. Kill a Kill, you're still just fighting dudes. I don't know about this. I haven't played it, but, like, Tenkaichi 3 and 2 does a little better, because yes, you're ultimately fighting dudes, but, like, it has, like, a hub world you can explore. There's a bunch of secrets and nonsense. Like, Tenkaichi 2 is an RPG. Like, there's something beyond just fighting dudes.
Yes.
Don't even talk about Smash. Smash has everything besides Smash Run. Bring back Smash Run, goddammit. Like, even the ones that have, like, story mode campaigns, you're just fighting dudes. What?
I was just going to say, and Subspace Emissary. Please!
Yeah, there's either no, like, single-player adventure mode or campaign or anything, or the thing that is the story mode or is the single-player campaign is just more of the same shit you do when you're just fighting.
Yes. Okay, but that's probably, a bad way of saying it, but it's basically that. You need a twist. You can't just give them just the fighting part.
Yes. Human psychology is the gap. You cannot bridge that gap. All you need to do is to cultivate the existing land between the gap.
Ooh, that's a good way of saying it.